What's going on YouTube, it's Jason, and in this video we're going to be discussing calorie counting and whether or not it's good for weight loss. Now I want to start by saying I can't quite believe this topic has caused so much debate. When you look into the science, the first law of thermodynamics is calories in versus calories out, or energy balance. There is not one scientific study out there that disputes calorie balance. If any self-respecting person tries to argue that calories in versus calories out is not true, I would be incredibly skeptical. So now we've established that calories in versus calories out is an actual thing, I'm going to go through 4 main reasons why this is disputed in the fitness industry. The first thing, and this happens with most things, is that people throw the baby out with the bathwater. Of course, calorie counting is not for everybody because there are people out there who have eating disorders. But we're now taking this a step further and people are using this as justification as to why they don't calorie count. If you don't want to calorie count, don't calorie count, but don't use a 2% of people for justification as to why you don't do it. Put it this way, imagine I said I was never going to have alcohol again because there are alcoholics out there. Or I said I was never going to take any paracetamol ever again because people overdose on it. You would think I was an absolute moron. And the last thing I'd say under this point is that the vast majority of people I know that don't calorie count are overweight. Now this is not to say that calorie counting is the holy grail and that everybody must do it. But for those that slam calorie counting, my question to you is, what tool do you use and is it actually working? And by actually working, I mean, are you getting closer to your goals? Because in my experience, those that slam calorie counting as a tool don't look like how they want to look. And the second reason calorie counting is disputed is because most people don't track accurately. The amount of times I hear people say, I'm only eating 500 calories a day and I'm not losing any weight. I'm very skeptical because in my experience as a coach of almost 10 years, most people watch their calories Monday to Friday. On the weekend, they guesstimate, and this is where their deficits often get wiped out. 2,000 calories Monday to Friday and then 3,000 calories on Saturday and Sunday over 7 days is not 2,000 calories. And on the movement side, most people either don't track their movement or they don't account for fluctuations. Your body is not that stupid. It doesn't knee-jerk based on one day here and there. It always looks at your averages. So if a person's movement is going up and down, if the intensity of their workouts are going up and down, this is obviously going to affect your deficit. And when they don't lose the weight they want to lose, they will assume that calorie counting doesn't work. A workman is only as good as his tools. Most people are working with incorrect data when it comes to tracking. And the third thing is a lack of knowledge. A lot of people use the term weight gain and weight loss, and to be honest, I use them also, but that's because they are terms that people understand. But in reality, what we are concerned about is fat loss. Remember, your weight can be made up of muscle, bone, fat, and water. So when you lose or gain weight, without any context, it could be any one of those 4 things. Let's say a person is trying to lose fat, and they eat 500 calories less than their body needs to maintain itself. By the end of the week, in theory, this person should lose half a kilo or a pound of weight. But what if this person is on their period? What if they consume more carbs the night before, or more sodium, or start drinking more water? All of these things are going to impact their water weight. So a person could be in a calorie deficit and on course to lose a pound of weight, but end up gaining 3 pounds at the end of the week. Now, if this person was calorie counting and they didn't understand how the body works in regards to water weight, they would think that calorie counting doesn't work. But it does work, and if you were in a deficit, you would still lose that pound of fat. If you continue to do that over say 4 to 8 weeks, what you would see is that your shape would change. So your waist measurement would go down and you would start feeling better in your clothes. Now that's not to say that weight doesn't matter, because it does. But I always say to get a true reflection of what's going on, you should weigh yourself, you should try on the same pair of clothes, look yourself in the mirror and measure your waist around your belly button, because those 3 extra things will give context to what's on the scale. And the final reason that calorie counting is slammed. Drumroll please. Money. Yes, money. The fitness industry is known for this. It purposely creates confusion so that you think there is a more effective or a secret way that you haven't stumbled across that's going to fast track your fat loss. Think about it. We now have keto, the carnivore diet, intermittent fasting, Herbalife, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, but to name a few. They all claim to have the secret sauce that you haven't discovered that's going to help you lose weight. Now, I've got whys to these things, and I want to give you an analogy to help you understand. Let's say to lose fat, a person needed to make 100 pounds. What these new diets and fads are telling you is that to make 100 pounds, you must make 250s, or you must make 520s, or you must make 100 £1 coins. Now, yes, of course, they all make 100 pounds, but ultimately, if that figure is hit, that 100 pounds, it doesn't really matter which avenue you take. There is no one way to make 100 pounds. And I use that example to say that all of these diets that claim to work and claim to get amazing results, the prerequisite for all of them to work is that a person must be in a calorie deficit, i.e. eating and or burning more calories than their body needs to maintain itself. So you can pick whichever diet you like. If you are not creating a calorie deficit, you are not going to lose weight. And this is the main reason why, as a coach, I try and keep it as simple as possible. Calories in versus calories out determines whether you gain or lose weight. Macronutrients, so proteins, fats and carbs, determine what you gain and what you lose, i.e. muscle or fat. Now, of course, that's not popular. That's not going to make me a millionaire because I haven't sold you something secret that you're yet to discover, but that's the honest truth. And that's why I challenge clients. What's the point in following a fad diet if, in order for it to work, you need to create a calorie deficit? Would you not be better off just keeping everything in and creating a calorie deficit? So my final thoughts and recommendations. Calorie counting is not for everybody. There are a small percentage of people that have eating disorders or have disordered eating, so they're on their way there, who I'd probably say it wouldn't be best for them. But if you don't fall into this group, actually track your calories and your weight for a month, at least so you have accurate data. And from that point, when you have the data you need, you can start guesstimating based on what you learned. The main reason I recommend calorie counting is not so that you know whether something is 47 calories or 54 calories. Who actually cares? We know that nutrition labels can be wrong by up to 20%. Even if you were jobless and tracked every calorie to the calorie, you may be 100 or 200 calories out. But when it comes to results, there's a massive difference between being 100 or 200 calories out and being 1,000 calories out. The second recommendation I'd make is that if you do not have accountability, i.e. somebody scrutinizing your calories, when you don't calorie count, or like most people don't weigh yourself, you're asking for trouble. The amount of people I've had as clients who come to me and say either they eat everything in the world and they can't gain any weight, or they're only eating 800 calories and they can't lose any weight. And when they get that scrutiny from a coach, a second pair of eyes, they start gaining or losing weight within 2 weeks. Is it that I have the magic formula? Maybe, but more likely than not, they weren't scrutinizing their calories close enough. They weren't scrutinizing their workouts close enough. When someone did and gave an objective opinion, they started seeing results. So please hear me. This is not me saying that calorie counting is for everybody, but there are a lot of people out there that could benefit from calorie counting who are rubbishing it for the wrong reasons. Also, please bear in mind that your body is by nature a calorie counter, i.e. it makes decisions on whether to gain or lose weight based on what you consume versus what you burn. So as I say, a person not calorie counting doesn't change the fact that your body will do that maths for you. So if a person eats too much, they're still going to gain weight whether they calorie count or not. If you've got an eating disorder, don't track calories, don't weigh yourself. Try instead to maybe try on some clothes at the end of the week and measure your waist. If you don't have an eating disorder, but you are adamant you don't want to track calories, the least you can do is once a week weigh yourself, at least to see whether your guesstimates are right or not. So that's everything. I'm just going off the science and what I've seen in my experience as a coach. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. Comment below, let me know how you found it. Do you like calorie counting? Do you not? Please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.